All right. Hello, everybody. I'm making another video today. It's February 24th, almost about 3 p.m., 2026. Now, this is the prices of silver. I'm going to be talking about this for a couple of videos. I want to try to keep these videos underneath 10 minutes. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but I try to just stay on course and then I start to ramble. However, if you look at the screen, let's get right into it. Silver prices. As you can see here, you can obviously see what's going on. Just visually, if you know nothing about silver or buying silver or silver funds, that's okay. That's what I'm going to kind of talk about. So you see from the beginning here, 2012, it's at, whatever, opens at $30 an ounce, going up to $31 an ounce. Then it just kind of drops. Then in the last several months, right at around, I guess, let's say it dipped right here at the end of 2024 and then just shot through the roof. It's like, whoa, what happened? Because if you look at, well, we'll talk about spot price. I'm actually going to move that down here. Let's do silver prices over time. And actually, I kind of briefed on this over one of the videos. But there was a time when you couldn't buy gold. There was it was artificially held low. And then next thing you know, it shot through the roof, which is kind of what's been happening. So as you can see here, this is just the last several months. Oh my gosh. So let's go back to 1976, $4 an ounce. Okay. Shoots up. And this is probably when the stock market was like crashing. So when Ronald Reagan, or inflation was also very high. So during the 4 years of Jimmy Carter's presidency, which basically Ronald Reagan took office in 1981, Carter was a one-term president. Inflation was high. This is when people were talking about 20 something percent mortgages to 26, but also savings account percentages were very, very high. And so there's this rapid inflation. They raised the interest rate super high, and it brought it back down, which led to an economic, honestly, a recession for like the early 80s, and then apparently got really good after that. But as you can see, the price of silver just jumped as this was occurring. It saw what was going on, and that's because as there's inflation, usually people look for something stable. Silver is really not supposed to make you essentially like a millionaire, whatever. Gold, on the other hand, could, but silver is kind of just a hedge with inflation, in a way, as long as it's not speculative. This looks like more speculative. Then it dropped back down, which is kind of more in the trend line right here. Then it shot back up against it. This is like right around probably, yeah, like sort of when the election time was coming. Then Ronald Reagan got reelected. Not saying that was a catalyst, but there was another crash. Then it just kind of crashed, and it stayed very, very like steady for a while. When I say steady, so we're 1990 at $5, kind of bounces around that $5, and now you're in somewhere in the early 2000s, and it's finally pushing past $5. That's in 2004. So it basically went for about 14 years, just kind of nice and steady, even went really low. Then it just started shooting up. And so right around 2008, you had the housing crisis, basically dropped down there too. It looked like it was sort of working in tangent with the stock market. And then it's going back up, and then it went down. It kind of stayed the same for a long time. Let's just do in the last 10 years. So you can see it just kind of bounced around here. These prices kind of went up a little bit. This is probably right there due to COVID. There was a sharp drop. When I say sharp for silver, because it only go from $18 to 14, $4 drop. That's like about what, 20, 25%? Then it just went back up. So basically it went from 18, it dropped, and then it went all the way up to 28. And then it kind of just bounced around for a while. Now, in the last several months, though, everything has been very erratic. And I've been buying silver. I am not being sponsored by this site. I just love this site. But it's called JM Bullion. I've actually been buying physical silver, like actual pieces. Just as collecting, been doing it for the last 2.5 to 3 years. I think since 2022. 2020, yeah, oh wow, so four. So then these were about $35 for one. So after $200, you get free shipping. So my orders are usually over $200. There's been a few, like several hundred, but usually it's just over 200 just to get the free shipping. But as you can see now, These people buy like 6 or 7. There is a spot price with the spot price of silver. So let's see, spot price is right here. Chances are this is not updated exactly in real time, but as you can see, this is now $100 because there's also manufacturing costs. So if you just Google why is silver, I just did this to see if it will pull up just for rating. Why is the silver coin more expensive than the silver price? Because the spot price, which today is 87.2, because buyers pay a premium covering manufacturing. So that comes from the mint, distributed, marketing, and dealer overhead costs. It costs to make a website, market it, blah, blah, blah. So that's what leads to these prices. However, months ago, these could have been easily $40, $50 for a coin. Now you buy 2 and you get free shipping. Before you could buy 6 or 7 and then you get free shipping. So take what you can get, I guess. So silver prices goes up. So what's going on? What's happening? And that's the $1,000,000 question. Because as you can see, even from this basic, just do silver prices. For so long, it just held steady. And then it just skyrocketed. So to go up, from 2025 as $33 from early 2025, then it just stayed, and it just goes up to, this is around 117 if I'm not mistaken. But that's kind of a huge drop because the thing is, you see this, it held steady, man, over the last, I don't know, 15, 20 years. And then it rocketed up. That's a massive, so that could be speculation. It also could mean that people are getting fearful because of tariffs. A lot of people say, oh, it's a safe haven buy, but no one just buys silver for a day and then dumps it. Because people are like, well, what is silver good for? Well, then, let's just Google that. What is silver good for? And I had this discussion with a friend of mine. Highly useful. Electrical thermal conductivity, believe it or not, it's used in medicine, high reflectivity, electronics, solar panels, medical devices, jewelry, and industrial catalysts, and even in some medicines. Over 50% of silver demand is industrial, including batteries, circuit boards, and water purification systems. This is just AI, but this is actually a pretty good answer because think about it. What do data mines use? They use a lot of water. They have to be cooled continually. All PCs. So what resources are needed to keep a data center cool? And they're actually talking about this. So this requires significant electrical power for mechanical systems, substantial water, heat exchange, blah, 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 blah. There's so much stuff that these things just drain. They just drain. Silver is used in a lot of it. So it's not the fact that there are silver, it's just buying silver and people are just walking around with silver in their pockets like the good old days, hundreds of years ago, which might end up back there. It's the fact that it's used in so much, used in circuit boards, smartphone switches, LED chips, and conductive inks due to superior electrical conductivity. So that means that as people, and I'm just talking about the raw silver. Yeah, you can sell those silver pieces, your silver chain, all that stuff. Even the ones on Amazon, you can see how they're getting more expensive. But this is why silver is increasing in price. And do I think it should have shot up this much? No. However, if you're a silver investor or you're looking to invest in silver, I don't know if it's a good time. I'm not a finance professional. I just talk about it. I've been buying it over time. And so for me, it's been great. So for instance, one of the things that I bought was I bought a 10-ounce silver bar just to do it. It was like the Year of the Dragon or something like that. Year of Dragon 10-ounce silver bar. It's pretty cool, but it's really super heavy. I think it was a Year of Dragon. I don't know. It was like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know if it was a Year of Dragon or something. It was this one. No, I don't know which one it was. But it was a 10-ounce. And the 10-ounce, let's just say it was this one, whatever, the American Flag, which is cool. I bought it for about $300, $330, and now it's almost triple that price. And in fact, it was triple when silver prices hit. It was actually higher than this. I think it hit, like I said, 117. It looked like it clocked it at 114 almost. Might have been the closing price. And so the thing is, that's speculation because for it to raise that high, Yeah, that could be pure speculation. As you can see, just within the last month, it's falling 24%. Last 6 months, it's gone up 124%. Over the last 5 years, it's gone up 232%, which is pretty incredible because it's been stable, which means it's probably overpriced. But the thing is, as you can see, there was another top, and then it dropped. Chances are it'll probably maintain this level for a while, and then they'll go back up. If you look at the max, look at that. You can see the chart. It'll go back up because of the reason I'll talk about in the very next video, part 2.